Hello and welcome to this episode of Point Counterpoint. We are here to discuss and deliberate, as always, issues of significance in Goa. Right now, we are here to report and discuss a disease that is spreading through Goa society. The job scam in Goa will ultimately turn out to be one of the biggest scams that Goa has ever faced because it affects the lives, liberties and livelihoods of people. This is a story of great betrayal where there are a lot of people, I will still call them innocent, who ultimately out of desperation to get jobs which are not there, ended up paying hardcore agents who in turn collided with different government servants. And obviously the elephant in the room is the big fish which is consuming all this money and the benefits of this greed that has been emanating. Currently, we've already had one death, one government servant who was a peon in the OBC corporation. He has committed suicide. He apparently was also, his name is Shida Satarkar. He was believed to be one of the agents collecting money for the alleged Queen Pin Pooja Nayak. There have been other government servants who have also been implicated here. I mean, I'll just name a few, but there may be more. Sagar Naik from Usgaon, IRB constable. Then Rajendra Venji, another police constable who is an accomplice of another lady called Priya Yadav, who is involved in this big railway constable scam there. Pooja Naik, of course, is a big one. Deepashri Sawant Gawas is another one who's been collecting money. So these are all different people, some in government, some outside government, who've been collecting money. But let's look at the larger story before I open up the discussion to our eminent panelists. The larger story here is that at the end of the day, Goa is bereft of jobs in spite of so many promises. Secondly, the staff selection committee and other committees that are there to give jobs are absolutely white elephants. Ultimately, job giving and employment generation has become a hardcore commercial stroke political exercise. I'll open this entire conversation, but let us always keep in mind that this is something that is eating into the core of Goan society and affecting our youth and affecting the futures of our children. We have Amit Palekar, not only a prominent advocate, the president of the Aam Aadmi Party of Goa. Thank you, Amit, for coming here. Christopher Fonseca, again, a veteran, national secretary of the AITUC, and then Trajan De Mello, political commentator and an important stakeholder in all issues concerning Goa. I'll start with you, Amit, a quick response to my opening remark.
Well, you called the scam as a disease. I believe it's no longer a disease. It's become pandemic, cancerous. It has already caused death. It has probably caused death earlier, but they were not discovered, or rather not come to fore. But there could have been earlier deaths where people might have paid and they've not got jobs, and they might have committed suicide, but then that could have been hushed up or may have never come to light. But it has become more scarier than the Narkasur that we burnt, and I think it's time that this scam was unearthed, or rather came to a big opening kind of thing during the eve of Narkasur, and that's why we always said that once the time comes, I think it's the day you have to pay back. The time has come to pay back. Now it's people's choice there. I think people need to come out on streets. People have to come out and speak, and people will have to now protest and find out and the real truth behind or the real story behind these scams. You named a few government servants, you named a few people. I think they are just the scapegoats. The larger fish, the larger sharks, and as you said, whether the
you mentioned the queen pins.
Queen pins are queen pins, but there is an empress, I'm told, who exists in Goa.
Empress.
The empress, who that empress is, the entire Goa knows. Probably entire media circle knows, and probably you also know when I say refer to a person as empress. Now the empress has taken her along with a non-uniform police officer, as I understand, who just does not control the police department but also controls the appointments in Goa as far as various departments are concerned. So this scam is not just a scam as we call it. This is the scam of the century as far as Goa is concerned.
Okay, we'll elaborate further. Christopher, coming to you. What is the genesis of this? You've seen this very closely. What is the genesis, and did it begin now, or has it been going on for a very long time?
It is not a present tense situation. It has been there in the past. Immediately after liberation, we won liberation, and Goa was liberated from the colonial rule. Very good.
But money didn't change.
Money didn't change hands at that time. And even now, we remember very fondly the era of the Portuguese where there was nil corruption as far as money changing hands was concerned. But there was a different kind of an oppression.
So what has changed in the last maybe decade?
During the last decades, that whatever people who are thrown in power or who have been elected to power, the popular governments, they in turn have become hegemonistic. They have in turn taken powers into their hands to rule the lives of people and to ruin it. And in this sense, I can say that there has been on one side large scale unemployment, and it's a topic by itself for which we may need a separate debate. And at the same time, there has been the kind of loss of muscle, economic muscle among the people because of loss of huge native occupations. Again, it will require a different kind of a debate. In the situation like in this particular situation, where people's indebtedness has also increased. What is the EVM? What is that? With the bank installments which they have to pay, EMIs, they have also increased. So everybody wants, and then there has been loss of livelihood in every sphere, every sector. So because of that, people want jobs, and the people who are in power are taking advantage of this. We can say that Pooja Naik is a pawn.
Right.
There are bigger sharks, bigger players who are gone scot-free, and over a period of time, in the absence of a mass movement,
Yes.
they will find ways to kind of escape the net.
Rajan, to bring you in on the subject, what seems to be surprising to us, may not be to you, is the number of government servants who are involved not only as victims. They are not just victims, there are government servants who seem to be acting as direct agents, and they are from different departments like even the police and other departments. And the scam seems to be prevalent in mainly departments of say PWD, irrigation and all, and
electricity,
power, electricity, transport,
R&D.
river navigation, agriculture and all that. So how are government servants become so much a part of this menace?
See, this is very clear that the government servants have somebody, the boss on top.
Right.
And it goes, they say it percolates right down.
Right.
This is going spiral upwards. That on top every department head is directly involved, and these are their agents on the ground. Now you spoke about one boy committing suicide. Now my question is, and Advocate Amit Palika will enlighten on this. Was he being interrogated as a witness, or was he put under pressure as an accused to commit that suicide? Because if you see the relatives who lodged a complaint of abetment on Pooja was immediately registered. The police are also abettors in this? I think Baba Amit should able to answer as a legal decision. Because he was under interrogation.
No, before I come to him, just one question, then I'll immediately come to him.
Yeah.
The point here is that no party can say they are here with, no party that has ruled Goa can say that they are here with clean hands.
Yes.
Okay. The point is everybody is completely involved. The point here is now where do we move from here, because if lives are getting lost, and now what is interesting is almost every other day somebody is getting arrested and cases being registered. Now I am also very little surprised, and even Amit can dwell on this. Now why has all of a sudden the police also become active and they're the spate of these arrests also?
Because the can of worms have opened up,
Right.
and it is going to point out to the main culprit that is being covered up.
Right.
by all these arrests that are taking place,
Right.
to show that it is, because they are moving also quite fast to divert the attention, according to me.
But if you notice, there was this something, South Goa collectorate, there was this recruitment scam that has been highlighted a couple of times, and, and we have seen, MLAs like the Fator, the MLA and others have also raised it. And you all have also raised. So obviously the genesis goes back to a different situation. And what probably could be happening, that's a conjecture, is that people who had paid for jobs are now frustrated that the jobs are not coming, and I'm wanting their money back. And that is why the scam is getting exposed also.
See, there are various means. I think why this has come up, because I think I have been a victim of this. When the jobs for a job, money was demanded back in 2002 or 2002, 2003.
To you personally?
Me personally,
Okay.
I was a state ranker. I was also in the 4th position in terms after answering GPSC, but yet I did not get the job, and I'm happy today that I did not get the job. I've reached a different position. But come to think of a middle class person, a middle class family whose parents are right now working and they want a job for their child for the secure future. They don't have the money to pay, but they arrange that money, take loans, borrow, borrow, steal, whatever they do, and they pay this money for the job.
Correct.
Once the job's not done, which is assured, they lose faith. They can't get their money back. And I know of a few families who have come to me and who have paid 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs to 15 lakhs to the functionaries of BJP on the pretext of getting jobs, and their money has not come back. And now they have borrowed this money. Either they are paying interest on that, or they have to return it back to the people. So now what choice do they have? Then to get this straight out of the bag and say, yes, now been cheated. Now question remains is, 8 months back, Aam Aadmi Party through me, or I had raised a concern that jobs are being sold, and after 8 months, this as is rightly said, can of worms has opened up. Now if you see land SIT, when it was formed, the land SIT was formed when politicians were getting linked. So to hush up probably, or not to leave loose hands to connect politicians to this SIT scam of land grab, SIT was formed, and suddenly this lady seems to have gone to Chief Minister. Now see the comfort that she has to go to Chief Minister with a bag full of money, or to make such an offer to Chief Minister. Was she so comfortable?
You're talking about
Priya. Or no, that Pooja. Priya is just another mole. Pooja was in Chief Minister's house. Why was she not arrested immediately? Now my question arises is that, can I be so comfortable to approach Chief Minister even for an appointment? How can somebody who has been scamster, who has amassed wealth over a period of time, goes to the house of Chief Minister and makes such offers, and then he waits for some time till an offence is registered, which shows that there is something that does not meet the eye. So there is something that is being hidden. Now of course the scapegoats are found, because again if it is open Pandora's box, Chief Minister probably thought that he is going to get a medal for saying that, oh, I was the one who got caught. But no, it opened Pandora's box for him, because it opened up a lot of other issues related to this scam. So I think the larger conspiracy heads back to Sanklim. Larger conspiracy heads back to head of the state. Larger conspiracy heads back, and this scam heads back to entire cabinet and BJP functionaries. And that is why probably, I don't know whether you invited any BJP person to come over this debate, and whether they said yes or no. Of course you will know it, and probably you might not tell me also about this, but the fact remains is that you call them for a debate, they will not come. We are saying that
it would have helped a better pro and con.
See,
in fact, I'll just.
And honestly, yesterday when Mr. Savekar put up a post on Facebook, you see the comments that are there. They are coming from people who have been hardcore BJP bhakts, and they've actually contradicted what he has said and said what he's saying is wrong. I have been asked for money. I have gone to minister and I have been asked for recommendation. Now, who corrupts them? Ultimately, people also are the ones.
Absolutely correct.
Who expect a minister to give a job.
No, it would have been nice if BJP functionaries and others react and speak on these issues, because we at least want to know what the government is.
How will a robber react on when you talk about robbery and the robber says, no, I am a saint. No, this cannot happen. Irony is that Goans are also keeping quiet about this.
Right.
The question remains is, whenever a minister or during pre-election process, when somebody who is going for propagation or whatever, he says that I will give you jobs. Who are you to give jobs? You are supposed to create jobs. Jobs should be given on merits, be it be private or government, and you can only create jobs. Once you say that I have given this many jobs, that means you have been a part of this scam in some form or the other. It may not be money, but any gratification in any form, whether given, taken or exchanged, becomes a crime. And in this case, I'm sure government is not just knee deep, neck deep, but it has come up to this level. Probably it will surpass the head over a period of time.
Right. You have some important points Amit made. See, you mentioned a very important point when we come to you last, where you had actually said that a lot of traditional occupations are dying down. And if you look at farming, if you look, agriculture, even fisheries, and so many other activities, people are either moving out of it because facilities are going, there is less land for cultivation, and other traditional occupations are also, even craft and manufacturing is almost dead. What is important here is it also because of this that, as you said, people ultimately are looking at government jobs as the only solution. Either they are doing that, or they are looking up to have small businesses, contracts, all that. But even that has become politicized. Even if you want to be in a village and take up a small contract of fabrication or road work or whatever, that will also not come to you unless you are politically inclined. Now, the reason why people have kept quiet also, as Amit said, is because once you've already paid money to get a job, you will not talk about it, because you will keep on hoping that job will come one day. So till that job does not come, that the whole situation becomes, even people who have paid, they are neither getting their jobs, their money is going, interest is also being paid, and they are in no man's land.
That is the problem. Today, impoverishment, which we cannot see, because there is a make-believe kind of a situation. That is one thing which is eating into the vitals of our Goan economy and people's lives.
Right.
There is large-scale unemployment. Unemployment of the type of employment that Goans want. Goans want a steady job. Goans want some kind of a,
or an opportunity to set up businesses.
Yes. Now, when you talk about businesses, when we talk about, even let us take one example like PWD, you want a contract, you need to give a cut. That's an open secret. There have been so many ministers who have been in the PWD who are known to have taken a cut, a percentage. And this is something which has been, is an open secret. Everybody knows about it. And also in terms of employment in PWD, and especially even the employment as contract workers on very starvation wage conditions, even that there is a political linkage and political patronage, and that is how it has been going on. In the overall situation that we see, Goa is on a downhill. Which requires now, one of the things which I want to congratulate Herald, not in a condescending way, for the manner in which you have taken up the campaign against this particular, corruption that is going on. Now, what we need is a people's movement, and for that we need to involve people who are not only affected, but who are potentially going to be affected, who are actually should be the pupil of the eye of this particular problem.
Rajan Babu, you are a veteran politician, and if you can just tell us how the anatomy of this job giving and what we call a scam now, how has it changed from the olden times to now, and
olden times it was done as a favor. I give it to my worker, or I give it to the next cabinet minister who has come and requested for his person to be got. It was absolutely, you never heard about payment. Rani's time, Viri's time, you never heard about it, including Shashikala's time.
Even BJP.
Okay.
But even MGPs.
Even Shashikala's time.
I beg to differ when it comes to saying BJP. In 2002, BJP.
I said MGP. I corrected.
He corrected.
Don't be.
Sorry.
Actually, this whole started, in my opinion, in 2012, when the BJP first came to power, when late Manohar Parrikar promised so many jobs, people will come back, all that enthused the youth, and the Goans felt like there is some chance. So suddenly those agents cropped up saying that you have to pay, and people agreed because jobs were promised. which were not there at all. So that is where the whole thing started. It actually, in a very small way, started in 2007. In a very small way it was. It could be seen,
Right.
But other things were corrupt in, what do you call that, contracts. Now contract he spoke about. Contractors are mostly non-Goans because the ministers prefer to take the cut from the non-Goan
Unknown.
rather than the Goan who will spread out. As Amit is spreading out now, he was asked for money to get it out. So this is a very clear-cut thing. The deep root now, it is for this last decade, it has reached just proportions that cannot be even
Pinnacle.
understood.
I mean, what is interesting here is that I may be wrong, but one doesn't see the kind of political opposition or a political outrage as one would expect from an opposition. The issue here is, when something like this, firstly, it's a very emotive issue. Secondly, even strategically, this issue would be like a ripe mango falling on the plate of any political party which needs an issue to take on the government. One doesn't see the kind of an outrage that one would have seen in the eyes of the political opposition.
See, what happens is, I think literally in the last during last defection, the opposition has been like disseminated. But if you see, the stoic silence from some is very alarming for me. But 8 months back, when I raised this issue, it has been supported by both our MLAs, Bab Venzi, Bab Cruz, and also we took up a press conference yesterday. For that matter, I think Mr. Vijay Desai also has joined us 2-3 days back and raised this issue. But there seems to be no response from lot of other opposition.
You mean the principal opposition party?
I'm surprised why this has not come up so far. It's not about making hay out of for political gains, but it's a question remains is that this is very disturbing for every Goan. See, as a politician, for me, and as a job provider probably in future, I always believe that Goa has not had industrial policy for quite a long period of time. Goa has not seen good industry for last over 12 years or more of that.
Right.
And where do people go? See, I will give an example. We have employed an engineer, an engineering graduate as a society supervisor for a salary of 18,000, which speaks volumes about the unemployment in Goa.
Right.
I'm sure he is married, he is having a family, but he has no job. Now the question remains is, as opposition or as politicians, is it not our responsibility to make noise of this? We've been making noise of this for quite some time. Goa has topped the index as far as unemployment is concerned. We have crossed 10%, which is much higher than the national average. And this is national data, it's not my data, it has been created and given by central government.
Right.
But according to me, it is much more than that.
Right.
Because every year there are thousands of graduates who are coming out. I don't know where they are going, they are seeking that job. Now, surprising for me is that those people have to join us in making noise and demanding government to do something about this. Create jobs. I'm not talking about government jobs. Job creation can be anywhere. But it is alarming for me to see that at GMR airport, 50% or 70% of the people are not from Goa. Take a simple case of a Starbucks.
Right.
There is not a single Goan employee.
Right.
They are all from Maharashtra.
Correct.
You go to any other store in Panjim, in and around Panjim, everybody who is employed are from neighboring state of Maharashtra.
Right.
Why? Is there something wrong with Goan youth, or is there something with Goan laws and politicians why this is happening?
Right.
Fact remains, this is alarming. It is alarming from the point of view of that in another decade, these people who have now passed out, who are in 20s, their parents now looking after their daily needs.
Of course.
At some point of time, they are going to go away.
Correct.
And these people are going to have family. How are they going to run their families? How are they going to look after their children?
Crisis, yes, of course.
It is going to lead to a severe crisis, and it needs revolution.
Correct. You can come in if you want.
See, every time Bob Krishna says there should be a mass movement.
Right.
Mass movements have changed governments, but politicians have failed them. And people are beginning to lose faith in politicians. This is a very crucial.
There is one question I wanted to ask.
Not all. I will beg to differ again. I'm sorry. I'm not contradicting you, but the fact remains is that We are the only ones. I feel sometimes every morning when we get on a con call, we have a con call in the morning for Aam Aadmi Party, and every morning we discuss this issue and we take up this issue. But there don't seem to be response coming from the other political parties which are alongside us, and also from people. So, but now when it comes to this job movement, we are starting the movement.
Okay.
We will have our first protest on Friday, and I request people of Goa to please join us. You must also join us as a true one, and you must also join us. It may have been initiated by Aam Aadmi Party, but the question remains is this is going to affect future generations of everybody, your children, my child, your child,
Correct.
everybody who is present in this room and in Goa. So this is, I think, let's not blame political parties, but it's the people, is the principal opposition or is the opposition who needs to be collectively responsibly taking up this issue.
See, Chadan, my issue is that also the issue, there's no question of blaming or not blaming political parties. At the end of the day, a government is ruled by a political party, irrespective of which government it is. So the person on the dock or the entity on the dock has to be a political party, because
No, I'm not on the political. What I'm saying is, you bring people on the streets.
On the streets, very good.
You change the government.
Okay, my question,
Yes, it's the same
yeah,
thing.
my question, exactly. My question here is this: the point is, when it comes to elections, job creation is only maybe a couple of points on party manifestos. Some party may be responsible, but it is just put there as if it needs to be put. But beyond that, I don't think any party, even in its campaigns, in its way forward, in its messaging to the people, the issue of job creation, as Amit mentioned, not about job giving. The job creation is not there on the agenda of anybody. That is it. And also the tragic part is that the people of Goa are also not selecting the political parties based on where the jobs are being created.
No.
And that is a tragedy.
And what are the kind of industries that are there?
Yes.
That are there in various industrial estates,
Yes.
in various companies.
Yes.
How many Goans are employed? What kind of jobs are they? What is the quality of jobs? And what is the kind of...
See, here we think we must make a distinction between skilled jobs and not skilled. See, for instance, ultimately, if you are skilled, you will get jobs whether you are a Goan or not Goan. The challenge, Christopher Bab, is to make sure that Goans are enabled and they are skilled. You do skill development properly so that Goans can also compete for
the
a similar
structure
job.
in various companies.
Yeah.
Let's take the pharma sector, which is supposed to be the kind of core industry in Goa. Now, there most of the workers are contract workers.
Right.
And how many permanent vacancies are there? How many contract jobs are there? I mean, permanent jobs are there? Hardly.
What's also alarming is that tourism industry is also dying as per today's data, which is
Very, very bad.
Right.
It's like from 9 million to 1.5
No, the
million.
Business Standard article, Business India article, which is very good. But-
And we've been saying that Goa has been losing tourism to places like Sri Lanka and other
Yes.
neighboring states, neighboring countries, which have been
Taiwan,
which are reasonable, better quality, and I think that is also going to affect the employment sector to a large extent.
Correct.
I think it is time
It
government
is.
takes
You
measures.
can do a
and-
50,000 rupee trip to Taiwan and back.
No, I've been to Sri Lanka and it's been quality tourism at a very reasonable price few days back, and I tweeted about it. My question remains is that we as oppositions are willing to support government.
Correct.
If government is trying to create good jobs where opposition is coming, but there should be some reciprocation from government. I don't think that they always look at our suggestions as political gains, which is what is wrong.
Before I finish, I'll take the discussion back into the crime that is happening right now with so many arrests going on. Now, as a lawyer also,
First of all, government should be charged for abetment to suicide.
okay, that is already happening in a sense.
Government, authorities,
Also-
as in the ministers also.
Okay, now also all these, okay, fine. Second point is all these people who are being picked up, like these government servants, either as agents or whatever. Do you feel that this demand has already been raised? Should all these be clubbed as one overall universe of a scam, and the matter should be examined holistically by a central agency?
We have demanded,
Yes,
Aam Aadmi
yes.
Party has demanded that a judicial commission be appointed, retired High Court judge with 2 additional district retired judges, so that the inquiry is held public. Inquiry is held in a format where people come and are free to approach them. CBI again is a stooge of the government. We have realized that crime branch has become redundant. It's a case.
CBI is a
Supreme
case
Court has
parrot
said.
as far as Supreme
CBI has
Court.
not
So you are talking about
And crime branch is only become
Our
election
take
agent.
on this is,
Yes.
you can appoint a judicial commission, but it will be much more effective because of the large scale job scam that is there, has been going on for years together. It's not just the tip of the iceberg,
Right.
it's the iceberg itself which has been floating around for so long. We feel that there should be a people's commission eminent people who are even, I don't want to comment on the judges, but eminent people who have a kind of a stake in society, who have a reputation, and they should be they should be part of this particular People's Commission, so that anybody aggrieved can walk up and
talk about
his problem. And the People's Commission is an institution by itself.
Remember, the one impediment to this also is that people have actually given bribes. Unfortunately, even though they've given bribes out of utter frustration, but bribe giving also makes them
is a crime.
So the issue here is that we have to look at that sensitively.
Yeah,
whatever be the case,
but you have to look at it sensitively.
Yes.
In a positive side, from the people who are giving money, they have reached a point of frustration. You say, I want a job, I am already on the merit list, and yet I have to pay. So what do I do?
But the law frowns on that.
Totally.
The law frowns on that.
Because what happens is a lot of these victims will also become accused.
Prevention of Corruption Act says that person who is giving and taking bribe, both are accused.
Right.
But in this particular case, when it comes to giving jobs and taking jobs and offer to take jobs, I think they are victims.
Right.
They are victims of the system.
We need
They are
to change the law.
Victims of the failure of the government to give jobs. Victims of the fact that nobody believes that government jobs can be got on merits. I don't believe that government jobs can be got on merits, because I believe that you need so much. I still remember there is one government servant, I will name them today, but you know, certain, when I was a lawyer practicing in about 7-8 years, and then he answered some exam, and he is now a government servant. He had the questions one day prior, and so he asked me for various answers to various questions. I said, why are you asking me this particular question? So then he apparently broke up and he said, no, I need to know this, because this is what's going to be asked to me in the interview tomorrow. So this has been going on rampant from the time immemorial, as far as I am concerned. Like, I am 25 years in practice, I think this has been about 20 years back. So we can't go back and forth. The question remains is, can we change?
Right.
And we need to change.
Correct.
I think that's the moot question today, is that are we willing to change as voters, as people who are seeking jobs, as government, as oppositions who probably will be in power? Are we going to change the system? If the answer to that is yes, then this debate has some sense. Otherwise, there is no point in having these debates, because we are going to be birds of same feather at some point of time. Then it's not right.
Okay, hopefully the deep insights and discussions and points put forward by all the three eminent panelists will ultimately lead to some kind of a solution, or a part to a solution, and that's extremely important. The sad tragedy of this entire situation is that, and as one of our panelists mentioned earlier, is that a parallel employment exchange has been created now, a corrupt parallel employment exchange, a political employment exchange, which gives you this dangles these carrots of giving jobs. But unfortunately, these carrots don't come free. They're very expensive carrots, and even after paying for these carrots, the carrots don't reach your plate. And that is where the tragedy is. It has become very murky. It's no longer a joke, because lives are getting lost, and the futures of many people are getting absolutely pulverized. And there are only a couple of people, the agents, who are actually thriving. You have a Pooja Naik, who has got 5 luxury cars, 4 appointments, 8 to 10 foreign trips, all out of the hard-earned money of people who've begged, borrowed, and probably stolen their lands and jewelry to do this, to get a job. So we must understand the seriousness of the entire situation, and even political parties in power, they should just turn around and say, look, making money can be a motive, but don't play with people's lives. And on this note, on this somber note, we should let this debate rest, but the movement should not. I thank all the panelists for giving their vital insights. Thank you so much.